Several times a year, the Authority Art Department changes the airport's cultural offerings, ensuring that travelers see a wide spectrum of San Diego's contributions to history, art, and technology. Recently, the team installed California Gold Rush, artifacts from the Paul J. Price collection, an exhibit on gold mining in the gold rush. Showcasing actual equipment and materials used by gold miners in the 1800s, the Gold Rush exhibit brings a sense of history to the airport scene. The collection is part of the airport-wide, year-long exhibit called Myth of the West. The entire exhibit covers the theme of the American West and how that phrase means different things to different people at different times. Airport staff got the rare opportunity to interview the collectors, the husband and wife team of Kathleen and Paul Price, who happily shared their love of the gold rush and making history come alive.
One thing I believe and hope is that the visitors will take a little history of the mining, what they enjoyed using, the games they played, the tools they used, and just the equipment and the life they led when they first came to California and the history of gold mining in California. And I hope they cherish some of the things they did.
I think that really we're showing fragments of time, how far we've gone through since the Industrial Revolution, migrating into California, and little small things that we even discarded in our life all of a sudden are interesting, fresh to look at. We haven't seen them in years, and I think this is a common man's collection of what the common early prospectors had and immigrants.
My piece in particular is the tag in and tag out box. And this is where the miners would get their little tag and they would tag in before entering the tunnel. And then when they leave, they would put the tag back out. And then they also sign their names and everything. So people would know who's in the tunnel, who's not. And I like everything else as well, but that's my favorite.
Although there are several pieces there that are rare and products of the Industrial Revolution and expensive, I think my favorite is the plug for a poke bag. Now, poke bag, P-O-K-E, is where they would actually put their gold dust in. And the stopper was usually something that was carved and was used to stop the bag and tied in, and then it was used as a scoop when they were dishing out the gold later on. Well, this particular one is carved out of a twig of oak, and it's a head of an Indian. So I can just picture a miner sitting in some remote shack or shanty in some frozen winter ice field, carving this little head for his poke bag. I think that's my favorite.
I think it's important to educate the children. A lot of children don't get the full story of gold mining, and they don't get to see the artifacts, because in school you don't see this type of examples of the different tools, equipment, leisure type instruments, and also like games they play. And so when the teacher talks about it in school, they could come here and see it. And I think it's important for them to see historical examples of what gold mining people used in the 1800s in that era.
This is a statement pertaining to the passage of time. In the respect, we have examples of almost everything that was just personal and a throwaway item from that period of our history, immigration, mining, and settling of California. We have them here to trick the people's minds as they're walking through, maybe cogitate up some image, but they can't look at this exhibit without thinking how far we've come as a civilization and in the world of technology.
So head to Terminal 2 and see the new exhibit. Don't worry if you can't rush, the exhibit will be up until May 2014.